Right, hello lads and lasses and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today we have a bit of a hypothetical video as well as a bit of an investigative video. That is not a word, but it does roll off the tongue quite nicely, so I think we should excuse me. Now, if there are any former coppers or detectives watching the video, rate my skills, because we are going and investigating Celtic's training video. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying the content and you want to help support the channel, the very best way to do so is to click that like button and click that subscribe button. Thank you all for who do help support the channel, and I hope more of you choose to do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, should Celtic sign a free agent centre-back? Now, this was an idea that sort of came to my mind after reading an article from the Celtic boys about how Celtic could sign Nikola Maximovic, a 6'4" free agent centre-back from Serbia. Well, and for free. Now, we're not going to sit here and scout the player because there's no links or anything like that. It isn't a scouting sort of video. It's whether bringing in another centre-back would be useful. Now, this is what I think a conversation Anch's certainly had at some point, whether there's any depth to it. I'm sure he has had the conversation though, and I'm going to come off straight off the bat and say it would not be worth bringing in any free agent centre-back right now. You know, I think in Celtic's squad we have enough depth. You know, we have three quality first-team centre-backs in Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Moritz Jens. We have also three hot prospects in Stephen Welsh, Dane Murray and Bosun Law. Now, for Motherwell, it appears we will have a combined centre-back pairing of the two. We will have Jens and Welsh is what is seeming most likely. Now, if we brought a fourth experienced centre-back into the team, we wouldn't have to play Welsh, which I'm sure would appease many of the supporters, because he did get a lot of unfair criticism in my eyes from the St. Mirren clash. For me, regardless, a partnership for now between Jens and Welsh will suffice, I believe. I really don't think there's any need to bring in a fourth centre-back, a fourth free agent centre-back, even for that matter right now. If the club really wanted to, we could bring one in January, but it doesn't seem like it's something that will be necessary. Now, with Starfelt and CCV both on the injury block, in the medical ward, whatever you want to call it, we are going to have to deal with Jens and Welsh. Now, a lot of people put, like I said, a lot of unfair criticism on Welsh. I think he certainly isn't to the standard that a lot of people hoped he would be at by now, but he still certainly by no means is a bad centre-back. And furthermore, some will say, well, what about the European fixtures? We can't be going in with a pairing of Jens and Welsh against RB Leipzig. Well, if it comes to that, that's the thing. It does come to that. While these two injuries do come at the most unfortunate of times, it is still manageable. Mainly because, you know, we are none the wiser when they both will return. Most specifically CCV, because it appears when Starfelt is out, we still get the job done. But when CCV is out, it is panic stations. Now, some people will lead you to believe, like Frank McAvenny will lead you to believe that he is out for an extended period of time. Others say it is a day-to-day basis. Whichever way you look at it, for the near future, and the near future is this upcoming game against Motherwell at Celtic Park, we're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it with Moritz Jens and Stephen Welsh. Moritz Jens, very good player. Stephen Welsh, very good player. I think it's just the fact that they haven't played together much at all that is what hindered us and hurt us the most against St. Mirren. So for me, really, there is no need at all to bring in a free agent centre-back. It just seems completely unnecessary. I can see both sides. I can see the appeal in having four first-team ready centre-backs, but it isn't the option we should be exploring right now. If we do want to, we go in January or we go in next season's off-season, but right now we focus on the football. Now, into the investigative part of the video. Celtic released their weekly training video at Lennoxtown, and in due course, this one was actually surprisingly long, 3.5 minutes, which is very impressive for the club's social media, and it was great to watch. I had to give it to them. They had a great combination of mic'd up players, mic'd up coaches, and also just, you know, cheeky background music with some montages. Now, there's a lot to take away from it though, and it feels like a post-match reaction. I'm sure it will sound like a post-match reaction, but anyways, the first thing right off the bat, Bosun Law. We quickly mentioned him earlier, but he was a featured face in the video, and it caught me off guard. Now, while it is not out of the ordinary at all for youth team players, B team players to come into the first team and to train just to get some experience up, this doesn't appear as if it's going to be for that reason. It more likely appears we will see an unlikely Bosenlow appearance on the weekend against Motherwell. Will he get on the field? I'm not too sure, because I believe Bosenlow will be starting on the bench against Motherwell with CCV out, Starfelt out. We don't have any backup centre-backs. So I believe Bosenlow is being brought in to provide that cover at centre-back if, God forbid, something happened to Jens or Welsh. So that is very interesting. Ange has made that call. He's brought up Bosenlow. He's called him up. That's essentially what's happened. So it is a hint at the future. He has got a future at Celtic, Bosenlow. Is it an immediate future? Not so much, but this is the start maybe of something very big for him. Anyways, obviously, we also had a few other players in the injury woes and in the injury concerns pile as well. But a lot of those were dismissed as we saw many faces return to training. Leo Labata, Dyson Maida, and David Turnbull all featured in the video. So there is a hint that they will be available for selection this weekend. And while I know many people only really care about Leo Labata out of those three names, Dyson Maida, very in a rough patch. David Turnbull, just lack of games. It's good to have players available because we can only take what we can get right now. Also, forgot to mention Josip Juranovic, another absentee from the St. Mirren game. He is good. He is good to go, really good to go. We need him to play. I think he is one of the most crucial players in this Celtic team. What he brings to this team is quite amazing. He really is a really, really good footballer. And it sometimes goes unnoticed because he plays at right back, but we certainly do need him starting against Motherwell. But still, depth is depth. Tony Ralston, nothing against him. He's a quality player on his own, no nonsense, but it's just that finesse that Juranovic brings that just makes this Celtic team run so much smoother. Also, we got to see some of the drills that our assistant managers were running. Harry Kuehl and Gavin Strachan were both seen to be giving out instructions for drills. Gavin Strachan, very, very voicey. He's got a very demanding voice, it appears. And, well, Ange was just there, looking on, really admiring what the work of art he has created. But otherwise, look, the squad was looking fit. The squad was looking sharp. Jota, Kyogo, Kalmak, Rio, all looking great. Matt O'Reilly even. Quickly on Matt O'Reilly, reports coming out that he was being watched by Newcastle United as he played for Denmark's under-21s. You know what? Let them watch him. Let them look on in awe at the player we have on our hands. It is concerning that there's this much interest in him, especially with a World Cup coming up and also a transfer window straight after, but fingers crossed he sticks it out for the whole season because we need Matt O'Reilly in the team. He is a very crucial cog to the machine that is Ange's team. Regardless, that is all from me. Bring on Motherwell. Bring on the official preview tomorrow. No promises because I've got a cup match to go to, Australia Cup, but we might have time. So that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on whether Celtic should look at bringing in another centre-back or if we just suffice with Welshie and Jens for now until CCV and Starfelt returns. But until next time, hail, hail.